Hey everyone, today we are going to do a Christmas drawing and I'm going to walk you through step by step this cute little drawing for the holidays, and I hope you join me. I also have a printable drawing of this image. I'm going to give the link to you in the description if you're interested in that downloadable, the printable. There is a small cost for it that supports my channel. I start off by drawing the head and then map out her body, mainly her dress, because that's going to be at the forefront of this whole picture. So I'm mapping in her dress. I'm not too worried about her arms, and I'm just loose sketching, and I want to get those Christmas gifts in there as well before I start drawing the man that's carrying those gifts. I didn't really count out how many gifts I'm drawing, but I know that I want the gifts to cover most of the man so that his head is peeking out and you can only see his legs. But you can be as creative as you want with this. I'm just going to draw a couple of more presents, and then I'm going to focus on the figure, which is the man that's carrying these presents. And so I'm just trying to be creative here and figuring out where his legs might fall. And then I'm going to draw his face, but it's going to be mostly hidden by these presents. Hands can be a big challenge when it comes to drawing figures. Luckily with this drawing, you don't need to worry too much about the hands, because once you're finished coloring it all in, the hands are not even going to be a focus. So you can have this man that's holding the presents wearing mittens, or if you wanted to, you could have him holding a wreath or just carrying a bag or something and cover his hands. In my drawing, I'm just leaving it as is, and I'm going to worry about it later. And now I'm focused on drawing his hat, mapping in his hair and where his shoulders will be, and I have to play around with that a little bit, but overall I like the way this is turning out. I think her hat is going to be my favorite part to draw. I just love drawing vintage style artwork where the ladies are wearing hats and fancy dresses. So I'm mapping in her hat. I'm just going with the flow and not too worried about it, and putting in her hair. And now I'm going to try to figure out what I'm going to do with her arm. And I think with this particular drawing, because I'm drawing on a smaller page, her arm is going right off the page. Because I'm going to be coloring this in with mainly acrylic markers, I'm putting in her eyes and her lips. I'll probably cover her lips even though I'm drawing them in with a black Sharpie marker. And I'm not too worried about it because I know once I get the acrylic marker on there, I could play around with how this whole drawing looks. Another option you can use when you're drawing the faces, if you feel like you're messing up the faces or it's not going the way you want it to, you can add sunglasses either to the man or the woman. It just depends on how vintage you want your drawing to be, because I think everyone draws in their own style. Even if you're drawing this same image, you may do a different dress, a different style, and I think sunglasses would help if you are struggling with getting their faces in. And it's just a nice way to spice it up or draw this drawing in a different way. I usually draw my sketches with a Sharpie marker. The majority of time in my videos, I'm using a Sharpie marker. And when I color in my artwork, I often use acrylic markers. And in this case, I'm using Artex brand acrylic markers. Any brand will do. I just have all the Artex acrylic markers and I love the way they go on the paper. They also can help cover up some of the Sharpie marker, especially if you're doing a lot of sketchy marks, which I personally love in my artwork, but I also love the way the acrylic markers cover up anything that I want to cover up. And on top of that, I'm going to be using some glitter at the end. You don't have to, as well as some gold paint, because I always like to add a little glitter and gold paint. I'm just trying to fine tune his legs as well as his arms and the way he's standing so it looks somewhat accurate, you know, so that his body shape is the right size, his arm length is right. And it took me a little bit to do that. And now I'm just going to get those presents painted. I thought if I were to do this again, I probably would add some more pattern to these presents, and I'd probably add pinstripes to his suit and make this guy a little extra fancy. But I'm just moving along, choosing any colors I want and having a good time coloring in these presents. I think for the final touch with this drawing is the tree. I felt like just seeing the man and woman walking, holding the presents wasn't enough. So I decided to add a tree to the left of the man and woman walking. And I'm playing around with the different acrylic paint colors, different colors of green to see what colors I like the best. And I like those old trees where it looks like the branches are sort of going upward, and that's what I'm trying to do here, is just give the illusion of a vintage style Christmas tree. So this is when I start adding different colors, and then I'm going to go in and add some red and yellow decorations and some gold paint, sort of to give off the sense of tinsel, and a little bit of glitter glue just to finish it off. At the end of this video, when I'm finished the drawing, I'm going to show you all of the supplies that I've used to create and color in this artwork. So I am going to show you, but if you have any questions about the materials that I'm using, just leave a comment and I'll answer it. Also, I didn't mention what sketchbook I'm using, but this is not a fancy sketchbook. This is just a sketchbook that I picked up at a bookstore. I liked it because it had an elastic to close it. I also liked it because it was smaller. So there's no fancy sketching paper required. It's just any old paper that you want to use, and it should work fine with these acrylic markers, or you can use colored pencils, regular markers, whatever it is that you have. You don't need to get anything new. Just having fun, playing around, and seeing what you can do. These are the art supplies that I used to create this drawing. I used the Artex acrylic markers, a Sharpie marker. We've got the Glitterific glue by Folk Art, the gold paint by Golden, and then the alcohol markers by Artex. And that's what I used to create this drawing. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.